I want to make sure we get heaps of value out of this. What is it? 10 past 1. That's perfect. So as I said, I now on my slide, I will actually, maybe I'll put this chat down. Perfect. Okay. I'm going to have the chat on my other screen. So if you see me looking over here, it's to see if any of you ask me questions. So this goes for like 2 hours. So it's, I'm going to try to knock over the content in, about an hour. It depends if you guys actually ask me in between, oh good, I can already see Sharon's writing to everybody. Great. Totally use the chat. You are in an environment of small business owners. Totally talk about your company, what you need. If anybody out there might be able to help you, go for it. Go for it. So good one, Sharon. And you're interested in AI as a personal assistant. Oh my gosh. Yes, easy. Tomorrow, like right now. So the content is about let's get comfortable with AI. So let's talk about AI. So what is it? Is it a robot? What is it? Is it going to take over? Is it the Terminator? No, AI is great. It's here to help us, and it's been here for ages. I mean, you think about Siri, you think about like I turn on my lights in my house. I just say the words like, hey, Google, turn on my kitchen lights. Turns on my kitchen lights. We've had lots of AI interacting in our lives to make it easier for us. And this is just the next progression. But it has come about because ChatGPT kind of launched in November last year. And since then, 2,000 AI-based programs have popped up to help us. But as small business owners, I think this is the best thing ever because you probably started your small business because you loved what you were going to do. So whether that was to be an architect, an engineer, whether you opened a pizza shop or a restaurant, or whether you became a yoga teacher, you did that because you love that business. You didn't probably go into business to do your BAS or to do marketing or to balance spreadsheets or all these things. And so AI is going to be our personal assistant so we can spend more time doing what we went into business for and less time doing the manual stuff that just soaks up time in our business. So in terms of AI, like what is it? So it stands for artificial intelligence. And it's like, as we're talking about Sharon, it's like having a digital assistant in your business. So it's lots of smart tools and technologies that help you make better decisions, can automate some really boring tasks that we all hate doing. But most of all for me, this is about giving our customers a better experience, making it easier for us to deal with, quicker, seamless. So we have a better interaction with our customer, which hopefully means we can make more sales. So I want you to think of AI as as I said, like a digital assistant or even your business partner, and it won't talk back and it won't, you don't have to pay wages or super. So this is great. So I really want you to use it. And then just to go through, I mean, I'm not going to read this, but it's pretty much like I'm going to be mainly concentrating on AI for marketing reasons, but this is about how do we automate these really boring tasks that we have to do? And that could be like data entry, it could be support requests or appointments in our calendar. And so it just frees us up time to do the things that we love. It helps us with data analysis and insights because obviously there's a huge amount of information out there, even in terms of I've actually put in kind of a bulk of information and gone, can you just summarize this for me? What does this whole book just say? It helps us create a better customer experience. And that is because when we use AI, we can actually start to really look at what is our customers' behavior, what's their preferences, what are they like, what are they interested in, and so we can create content around that. But as I said, it's also about really, really simple things. So I was with someone this morning creating all these automated emails. So once somebody has made a booking, then the emails are just automatically going out that talks about where to park, what's the nearest coffee shop. If they arrive early, they should definitely head to that coffee shop and have a coffee. And where to park and all these kinds of things. So it's definitely about, for me, AI, more so than anything else, is I really think about it as in this is going to make your business better because it's going to make it easier for your customer to deal with you. It's improved efficiency. So it's all about, and that could be anything from scheduling, it could be cost savings, it could be logistics, it could be finance, it could be data entry. But it's really about, like, you don't want to be spending hours of your time, probably at night, right? Like maybe once the kids have gone to bed, doing all the stuff you have to do that is really, really boring. So it's like, how can AI help us? Next one is around chatbots and virtual assistants. So cool. So I was using chatbots maybe 8 years ago, and they were great then, but they're even better now. And that is when you've got like really, I'll say, traditional questions that get asked. So I was using chatbots in the real estate industry where people, ask the same questions. What time is it open? What's the price range? Does it have parking? All these kind of really the standard questions. So chatbots are excellent if you've actually got customers that ask the same questions over and over and over again. And you can actually have, a chatbot creating responses for your customers, and then they actually learn from those responses. And again, they get better and better. Next one is about, this is just about predictive maintenance. Look, I just put it there just because it is something, not all of us have it, but definitely some of us do in terms of, machinery and things that we might need to actually keep going and, just make sure that we've got, machines aren't breaking down. Fraud, again, it depends on your business, but all of us are taking credit cards, right? And so we want to make sure that what we're doing is not open to fraud. And the last one, and my favorite, is around content creation and marketing. And this is where I think that this is amazing, because most of us don't start a business to actually do marketing, but we know we have to do it. So I want to make this as easy and seamless as possible for you to do marketing. So I would say, in terms of just getting started with AI, here's like my 3 rules is like, what do you need? And then let's work out like, what are you trying to get done? And then what's a tool that can help you get that done? And then just start small. And as in, like, just try it for one thing. As in, you might want to try it for social media post, or you might want to try it for creating a video, or, something really short and snappy. And then, like anything, for me, this is like couch to 5K. So if I asked you to run 5K tomorrow morning, most of you would be like, what? That's too hard. But this is about just getting you up and going. So this is about just try one thing, just do one thing, have a go. You can't break it. And then the more that you use it, the better that you'll get. With something like ChatGPT, you want to, like, done is better than perfect. You want to get it done. But then perfect is when you're just using it as a skeleton or using it as a springboard, and then you can actually write the data or write the video script yourself. So as I said, I just want you to think about it as like, this is just like getting you comfortable, getting you off the lounge, running to the post box, running to the end of the street, getting familiar and comfortable with AI, and then you can hit that and really do great things with it. So we're going to look at 5 tools today, and as I said, these are just my favorites, and because I know that a lot of small businesses can use them really, really effectively, and they're quite broad in terms of what you need to get done. There are, as I said, about 2,000 AI tools. There is an AI tool for absolutely everything that you could ever think of now. So I don't know all of them. So just, full disclosure, I haven't kept up with 2,000. But I guess just to give you a clue, like what the Cast Magic, which is something I'm going to talk about, when I bought it, it was in beta, which means that it hadn't like officially launched. So I bought like a lifetime subscription for $39. And just a few months later, it's got millions of people using it, and it's now like 99 US a month. So it's definitely worth trying some of these tools and seeing what you think. Cool. I'm just quickly looking at the chat, and then Natasha's got a medical practice and wants to know how to make the practice more efficient. Excellent. And a podcast. Awesome. Great, great, great. All right. We're definitely going to talk about that. Actually, for your podcast, Cast Magic. Amazing. Amazing. That's how I discovered it. I am regularly a guest on podcasts. And so for the podcast host, Cast Magic is your dream application because you run your podcast through it, and I'll show you it creates the most amazing output that you can then repurpose that podcast into a whole heap of different mediums for promotion. Awesome. Okay. So as I said, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. So if you want to ask me anything, just let me know. But let's start. Let's get under the bonnet. So first up, one more. So I'm just going to say, as I said, this is just about get off the lounge. It is about just finding your voice. It's about getting stuff done quickly, saving you some money. But most of all, I find that these tools, they're things that I find boring and tedious and, whatever. And then they actually give me a huge spark. I'm like, oh my gosh, I can do this. This is possible. I didn't realize. So definitely use them. You will be so invigorated and surprised and motivated and to actually get stuff done because it will help you. So first up is ChatGPT, and I'm sure that most of you have probably played around with it. Do you want to tell me in the chat whether you've used ChatGPT, which is probably the one that most people have heard of? And maybe like, yep, so we've got a yep for website content. Yep, so much, says Rowan. Awesome, Natasha. Yep, Joy, for sure. Excellent. In social media. Oh, great. So Sharon's used Bing as well. So no, not really. That's okay. Perfect. Great, great, great. We've got lots and lots of yeses. Okay. So I'm sure you probably played around with this, but let me give you kind of under the hood. I haven't used anything. Perfect. Okay. So for Cheryl, we absolutely plug in right now and have a look at this because you will probably be quite surprised at what it can do. So this is ChatGPT. So you would actually type into Google the phrase ChatGPT and it will go to a website called openai.chatgpt. And it is amazing. So there's also some alternatives. So there's Google Bard, Canva have Magic Write, and there's Hugging Chat as well. But ChatGPT is the one that everybody seems to use. And you can have the unpaid version or the paid version. I'm still on the unpaid version and I use it all the time and it's perfect. I haven't had any problems with it whatsoever. So great. So Nicholas is saying, yep, he's using it for research and data and proposals. Excellent. Excellent. And Sharon saying it's a great learning resource. Absolutely it is. But as I said, most of all, like if it gets you like off the couch and doing stuff, it is great. So for the people who probably haven't used it, I'm going to call them top tips, but it's almost like a little bit of instruction. So just imagine you had an employee or a VA or something. And so it would be these are my top tips for actually working with somebody else. And that somebody else could happen to be ChatGPT. So it's about being really clear and specific. So if you're really vague and general, then you won't get a great answer. So, but know that obviously a Google search is for facts. This is about AI. It's about intelligence and responses, about behavioral type responses and emotional type answers. But it is also a robotic response, right? And so when we're on the couch, when we're just getting off the couch, you can absolutely take 100% of the content that ChatGPT spits out. But then once we've got into a bit of a running stride, then I would absolutely say take that content and then put your own secret sauce in it, put your own uniqueness, like really use it as a springboard and then actually change it completely. Get your prompts right. So there's now whole jobs called like prompt engineering. It's really about just like if you had to get your 10-year-old to do a job for you, what instructions would you have to give them? And the better the instructions, the better the output. So things like asking one question at a time, using really simple language. Provide context. So I always provide context in terms of, so I'm an architect in inner city and I concentrate on, building residential homes. So things like that. So actually providing a little bit of storytelling about what you do, about some background about your product or your target audience. So you might say, hey, I'm a personal trainer and I train mums who have just had a baby on how to, get strength and get back into shape. So the more that you can provide, the better the answer will be. I love asking for examples. So I totally always say, give me an examples of architects who have, partnered with other companies to create something, or give me an example of 5 different retailers that have used a certain type of marketing or something like that. So you can always ask for examples. Specify the format, which is about what are you trying to get done? Is it a website? Is it a email that you're trying to write? Is it a blog you're trying to write? Is it a proposal? Like Nicholas has said, so you're actually trying to do a proposal for a specific company. So you can really tailor your answer and experiment and reiterate. You cannot break it. You can't. So ask it to rewrite, ask it to reframe, ask it for a different tone of voice. Like just play with it and it will just keep rewriting it for you until you're happy with it. So I highly, highly encourage you to do that. All right, let's play. So these are just ones that I've used with, lots of business owners just like yourself. So this was a Chinese massage and acupuncture clinic, and we were trying to come up with some lead magnets. So I wrote, write 5 lead magnet style headings for local banking staff who need to relax to try to come and try Chinese acupuncture. And you can see it comes up with all of these different ones. Now, for example, I could have said, you can see that what it's done is in the first part, like relax and recharge. So it's almost like a heading and then like a subheading, or like a heading and a tagline. So you could actually say, right, make a heading that's 5 words long, or make a heading with words with less than, 3 syllables. So you can be really, really specific. But you can see here, a lead magnet style heading is something that is enticing and encourages action. Next up is like I've said, okay, let's write, some blog headings like for cooking Filipino style recipes for an Australian family. And you can see there's all sorts of headings there. And for example, we've got like number 8 is like from Manila to Melbourne, Filipinos recipes for Australian families. So I think we chose that one, and then we actually got it to write a 200-word blog that would sit on a website that actually encouraged Australian families to try this different cuisine. So the article headings or blog headings or subject headings, if it's an email, are really good because it just might be some angles that you're like, I haven't thought of that before. So like a taste of the islands or, things like that. So as I said, you can definitely use it to create and educate your market. Next up, we kind of said, okay, so we wrote some copy and said, okay, rewrite this copy that would appear on my website landing page. So I think we actually did a proposal. So we shortened it. So then it was like, here's some copy from about somebody who helps property developers. And so make this into a website landing page content. So usually I would write a rewrite for a website landing page that is 200 words and has a clear call to action. Again, you can be as specific or as general as you want to. You could actually, in terms of website landing page, you could say, my customers are architects, so I want you to write this to appeal to an architect. So Karen's just asking, are you using your voice or typing? Great question. You can use either. You can use your voice and you can type it in, whichever one you want. You can also, it comes in like a heap of different, not every language on the planet, but nearly every language on the planet. So you could actually write, write me something for an Italian customer, or write me something that would appeal to an Italian customer in Italian. So you can definitely use both. Next up, which is, so this one I'm showing you because it's kind of, a bit cluey. So we wanted to create a brochure for the Chinese massage. And so you can actually create some content. So it could be like, give me 10 reasons why Chinese massage is so great. And so I did something similar. I'll just grab it. So I did something similar, and I actually did an 8-page brochure, which is this. And so I'm calling it an ebook, where I actually said, give me 50 ways that businesses can work together. And so all of these 50 ways, I actually then put in a Word document, and then I added my secret sauce. Like when they said, said, you could do this, like you could do a competition together, or you could do a joint giveaway. And so I said, host a joint giveaway with a complimentary business, blah, blah, blah. And then I said, imagine a book writing retreat with a print publisher, so you can use ChatGPT to come up with the bones of what you're going to do. So with this one, we actually got the 10 benefits of Chinese massage. And then I helped to just like I did this, which is then I actually put it up as a job on Fiverr. And so we got this turned into, with her colors and her call to action and her location and phone numbers. And that was actually turned into a brochure for $19. And it was done in about 24 hours. This is my example of it, which is an ebook, which is actually this 8-page booklet. So it's 8 pages, 50 ways that businesses can work together. This is my lead magnet. So this is what I give away for free in exchange for an email address. As you can see, it's got, my brand, my colors, it's got lots of pictures on it. It's got lots and lots of icons as well. And so this, for example, an ebook cost me about $72. But now I have an ebook to go with my actual published book as a lead magnet for customers to get to know me and trust me. And it can be done really, really simply. So Karen's saying, seems like you can ask them to write a novel for you. Yes, you could. Absolutely. Actually, I think my next book, I'm totally going to get Chat to help me write it for sure. But I actually, Karen, not like being a little bit cheeky, but not. So I've been recording a course with heaps of videos, and I actually use one of these tools to transcribe it. And, if I wanted to, I could literally in seconds actually turn that into a book. So again, what I'm trying to show you is that you can springboard yourself, your company, your assets. So this took us like a few minutes to come up with the benefits of Chinese massage. We gave it a quick flick. We put it up on a marketplace for somebody to make it into a brochure, and it was done. And the owner, English wasn't her first language, so she didn't feel comfortable with her marketing. She wasn't quite sure if it was right. So this is like a really, really easy way that you can, play around, make sure that it appeals to your audience, and then create a brochure and get it printed for a few dollars. Joy, can people tell when it's written by AI? Can people tell? I will say I am getting more and more familiar with the words that AI is putting out. Uh, Things like magnificence and unlock, I think are words that are used a lot by AI. So when we say people, can people tell if it's AI generated? I'm not sure if we can. Can Google tell? Yes, Google can tell. But I guess it also depends on what you're doing. So if you're using a couple of sentences on your website, in the context of all the other copy, it's not going to affect your SEO. You can definitely have tools. So there is something called, yeah, yeah, that's right. So just looking at the words. There is something called Quillbot. I think it's called quillbot.ai. That I use. So if you grab some copy out of ChatGPT and then you run it through Quillbot, oh great. So we've also got another one, undetectable AI. So same but different. You can actually run it through another AI product and it will change the text so it's undetectable as AI generated content. So that's something you can definitely do. It's also another version, right? Like it's completely different. So, but yes, so Quillbot's still detectable by a plagiarism check. Okay, interesting. Plagiarism checker. Do you mean more for like uni and writing stuff, or I'm not sure. Victor? Do you know, can you just write one more sentence about when about the plagiarism check? Is that in the context of like an education environment um or not being noted? Or yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Yeah. So I think for most small businesses, yeah, look, you if you're just using a couple of paragraphs, things like that, you're not going to get penalized from a Google point of view. If you're writing a book, yes, of course, it's somebody else's content. And I definitely run it through lots and lots of trackers. And I actually would never put out a book that was all AI because, well, it's not you, right? It's not unique. It doesn't have your secret sauce. So people want to buy you, not something that was made up. Uh, Perfect. Oh, Raz. Hey, Raz. You can tell AI to check for plagiarism and remove it. Great. Excellent. Thank you. Thank you, Raz. Uh, Perfect. All right, let's go to the next one. So again, I'm just showing you some examples. So this is like an email script, so we can actually change it from website copy to an email script. As I said, you could change it all sorts of things. So in terms of prompts, as I said, there's a whole thing called prompt engineering. And so it is, it is something that there are people whose whole job is to actually become experts on the prompts that we should use within an AI environment. But as a really, really rough, just like a pitch, I would say that for context, to say, hi, my company is, Get Active, and we are a personal trainer that helps mums get more strength and stability after having a baby. So I think within a prompt environment, you should definitely actually look at that in terms of giving the ChatGPT some context of who you are and what you do. And then you could actually say like, please, you could say, please write a list of the 10 biggest problems my customers, and you would elaborate who your customers are. So my customers are, busy mums who have just had a baby, or architects who have just completed a home, or, mums of primary school children who need to learn to swim. So list 10 biggest problems of mums of primary school children who need to learn to swim have when deciding to use a swimming provider or a training provider or, you know, a swimming district in the eastern suburbs of Sydney. So the prompts are, what if it's a prompt is just a fancy word for an instruction. So again, just like if you were actually asking a staff member to do something, it's like, what would you actually need to tell them? What background would you need to tell them? And what information would you tell them to actually get the answer, the result that you needed? So some other things are about like creating an avatar. You can actually get them to create an avatar based on the behavioral and the data and the analytics that you actually have in your hands. You can ask it specific things like, right, the biggest challenge, you know, my customers have. So again, when I say customers, that would be, you know, busy mums who are working part-time who need to get their kids to swimming lessons. So the more context you can put in the conversation, the better. And the next thing, this is just something that I've been doing with a whole heap of people, and we've been getting some really cool results, which is just, again, the context. So this is just mine. So it's not for, you know, it's not for you, but, you know, this is what I do. So I help brands to do marketing without money. These are the benefits that they get. I'm going to ask you to write a whole heap of like copy for website landing pages, lead magnets, social posts, video scripts. Before we begin, I want you to really understand my business and my customers. Ask me at least 20 questions about my customers, my audience, my business, and anything else you need in order to complete this task to a high standard. And it will actually ask you a heap of questions. And some of them you might even go, I've never thought of that. And it will help you really frame what you're trying to do. What are the benefits you're trying to get for your customer? Give you clarity on being really distinct and what is your niche, and really what you actually want to get out of it as well. Perfect. And then the last little bit around that is just around kind of rewriting. So rewrite this into, as I said, I did this just recently where we took it from website copy. We then made the website copy into a cold email that could be sent to a customer. We then turned it into a LinkedIn outreach, 300 character outreach on LinkedIn. We then turned it into 20 social media posts with emojis and hashtags. Then we turned it into what are the biggest challenges? So like, what are the biggest challenges that this customer would have? So write the benefits to this customer on using, and we put in the type of service it was to this customer and what would be the benefits of using this service. And it came up with all of these great benefits, which then we can actually turn into a brochure and also repackage that into when you're doing a pitch, like on PowerPoint, so you can be really succinct about what are the benefits of working with you. So here's the thing, as I said, this is couched to 5Ks, right? So if you just decided that you've never written a blog, or you're not quite sure how to write posts on Instagram, then just start there. Just start with one thing and then you can do it. But this is where, as I said, this is about done is better than perfect. Right now, I would say 100% like use the copy that can come out of ChatGPT if you've got nothing. But I really want to know about you. I want to know about your uniqueness and your why you've made this business and what you actually do for your customers. I want real stories. I want real connection. So this is really about you totally use ChatGPT. Absolutely. But the more you start using it, the more I want you to use it as a springboard. So then you're using it as a bit of a skeleton. And so then you can look at it and read it and go, that's pretty good. But actually, I'm going to put some more. I'm going to make this a little bit longer. I'm going to tell a story around this. I'm going to put in the context of what my benefits really are to the customers. So it's just a really, really, really handy springboard for you to use. But when you're beginning, absolutely. copy 100% of it. There's no problem. But I encourage you, and I really, really, really want you to use it a little bit and then actually make it all your own, because obviously we don't, if you're at the pizza shop and you've got another pizza shop next door, we don't, it's chat GPT. We don't know all the words that's coming out. It could be very similar words because you're not sharing all your uniqueness. So highly, highly encourage you to use chat GPT, but actually use it in a slightly different, so you like edit it so it sounds like you. All right. I'm going to move on to the next one. I'm just wondering if there's any questions. So Linda's asking, what about how would that work? That is already copyrighted, and about the accuracy of content. Okay. Accuracy of content is not an AI thing. Accuracy of content, and only goes, it is not fact-based. So I've totally used it to say, what kind of fashion brands are collaborating with shoe brands, and then I've gone to find that, and it's totally made it up. So AI is, as I always said, AI is a springboard. I would not take it as gospel at all. And the accuracy of the content, absolutely you need to check. So if you need to fact check, then you need to actually do that for your own business. This is around, I guess, I think it's what it's really good at is very conversational content. But if you need accuracy, then I would definitely say to look at Google and all the, wherever you would go for accurate information. So Sharon's saying generation of long reports needs to be thoroughly reviewed, as these are many. Yeah, okay. So absolutely, long reports need to be reviewed for sure. Absolutely. All right, just looking. You're worried about the literacy skills of future generations? Yep. I'm sure that our parents were worried about the literacy skills of my generation, and we didn't even have computers. And then computers came in and they thought that they were the worst things ever. So I think every generation is scared for the next. But at the same time, I think there's going to be thousands of new jobs that are created by AI tech. But that's just my opinion. So what if the content you're looking for is in scarce source on the internet, such medical devices, etc.? Yeah, tough. I mean, I think that you would have to research. I think, as I said, AI based is about behavioral and context. So I think that you could definitely you could use it for customer marketing and conversations. I would definitely not use it for research purposes. Tried Canva and it screwed with my Facebook page. Oh, that's so good. And it took a lot to fix it. Okay. Cool. Cool. Okay, great. So I just want to make sure I got all those messages. Cool. All right, what do we got? We got 148. Canva, the most amazing piece of software ever. I was actually listening to a podcast. It's now worth $25 billion. Billion. And Melanie actually, it first came to market in 2015. So that's a pretty amazing piece of software. I use it all the time. So I totally use it for creating marketing assets. I use the photography on it. I use it mostly a lot for resizing. So I create an asset and then I resize it and repurpose it all the time. Scheduling content. So I've got the paid version of Canva, but it means that I can integrate, love Canva, paid version, which means I can integrate all my social media accounts, and then I can create something on Canva and I can just schedule the post like that. So it's something that I love doing. QR code creation. I've been in marketing for decades, and QR codes have been around for more than a decade, maybe slightly less than two, but a very, very long time. And people never knew what to do with them. And then the pandemic happened. And now everyone knows how to use a QR code. So, I mean, even like on my phone, my screensaver is a QR code. So that is when I meet someone, I'm like, here, use my QR code. You can connect with me. I use QR codes everywhere. It's inside my book, like on the page 3 of my book. I say, do you want some resources? Scan this. So QR codes are everywhere, and it's a really, really beautiful, simple way of creating QR codes. I use Magic Write, which is the Chat GPT version of AI in Canva. And I use Bulk Create, and that's kind of what I'm going to show you and play with today. So with Canva, Sean, you need some help with QR codes. Okay, cool. Well, let's do that after we finish. So on Canva, so when you go to Canva, it's just canva.com, which was actually, I think it is Italian or French for canvas, and because that's what she wanted it to be, a blank canvas for small businesses to use and schools. And so when we go to Canva, you can do heaps of things. As I said, you can do docs and whiteboards, you can do Instagram stories, website banners, everything. What I'm going to show you quickly today is something called docs. So docs, like a Word document, so just docs. And then when you go into docs and there's a little plus button, so it's like a right click, and you can do Magic Write. So Magic Write is just like AI. And so in Magic Write, you actually write anything you want. So write, 5 tips for, five leadership quotes. I want you to write 5 exercise tips for new mums. I want you to write 5 quotes that architects will love. 5 design tips. I want you to write 10 meals with 4 ingredients. Like, it doesn't matter what you write, whatever your field is. What I'm just showing you is that you can create a whole lot of content really quickly with a template and with AI. So, for example, you can ask it to do anything, then it very quickly comes up with those answers. So I've just copied that. So that was somebody that I was working with. So 5 tips for professional speakers to get more speaking jobs. And so we just copied that, and then we actually just pasted into an Excel document. And so then all we're doing is we're actually pasting it into a document, and we're saving it as a comma delimited file, a CSV file. So CSV, okay? This is like the magic juice. You just super easy. We all know Excel, right? So instead of just saving it as an XLS, we save it as a CSV. Then when we go back to Canva, we can create, now I'm a LinkedIn person, so I create a LinkedIn post. It could be that you're creating Instagram posts. It could be that you're creating Facebook posts. It could be for Snapchat. It could be for stories. It could be for reels. It could be for anything. So all you would do in Canva is actually type what you want. So in the search bar, I typed in LinkedIn post templates, but it could be Instagram templates, story templates, reels templates, video templates. It could be anything you like. And then it will give you a heap of different creatives that you can choose, or you can see here, this is like a blank one right here. And so that just gives you the dimensions, and then you could put in your own colors and things. So really quickly, I just went, yeah, do you know what? This looks good because there's enough room for a quote. So I like this one. And so so down the side, so you can see the blue bar across the top, and then there's icons down the side. So things like uploads, text, draw, projects, apps, and there is a button called Bulk Create. Now, if it is not on the left-hand side of your screen like it is for mine, it will be under apps. So you go into apps and then click on something called Bulk Create. So Bulk Create, and it'll say, cool, do you want to add your data? So upload a CSV file. And so you would just go, yep, and click that button to upload the CSV file. And so then once you connect that spreadsheet, then it actually says, cool. And it'll actually give you a glimpse. It'll show you some data in that file, so you know you've got the right file. So it says like, here's the first bit of data identified. And so on this text on the post, so just here, so then I would right click where that copy is, and under that right click, it has an option, and the option says to connect data. So I would just go, yeah, cool. I want to connect data. And so when I connect that data, then immediately it actually puts in that data into my post. So the first one, so it gives you like the preview, like, so you can play with it. So it's got like, here I've inserted the first bit of text into this box. And of course, then to make that post my own, I'm going to put in my corporate color. I'm going to put in a photo of myself. It could be a photo of my shop. It could be my logo. It could be anything, right? And then obviously I've just put any old logo here as well, and the colors. So what I'm showing you is I'm going to make that post the post that I really, really like. And so I'm editing the text, I'm editing the color, I'm dropping in my uniqueness, my logo on my picture. And then over, you can see on the left-hand side here, then it kind of says, do you want me to do the others for you now as well? So here's like the other 4. So I said there's 5 things. The first one is like, I'll call it your master almost, like that's your master. It's going, is this one right that we've done? Are you okay? Do you want to create all of them? And you would literally hit generate 4 pages. You now have 5 LinkedIn posts that you can schedule and post and get done, and it's amazing. So with that, and I'll just show you. So up on the top right hand of the screen, just here, there's a share button. You can actually save all of these as one file. So the 5 different posts as one file. But what I do is I actually, so say on number 1, it's got develop a strong online presence, and 2, tailor your content. I actually save them individually. So then on the share button, I would go save as a JPEG, and where it says, PSA test, I would save that as like tailor your content. And I would just save page 3. And then that means that when you're saving it on your Google Drive or your hard drive or whatever, every single post that you've got. So then you can just grab that post and you can you can share it on social. The other way is obviously I just share it on social. So in that where it says share, I actually can go into all my social media accounts and I can schedule it, and I can just drop it in and say, yep, schedule this for the 21st of October, and it'll post straight away, which is awesome. So Linda's saying this would be great for yearly content plans. Yeah. So imagine you as a content strategy said, Mondays for motivation, and Tuesdays for testimonials, and Wednesdays for wisdom, and Thursdays for tech, and Fridays for community, something like that, whatever you were deciding to do. Then the Monday motivation, for example, you could have 52 motivational quotes. And you could do 52 motivational quotes. You could have them all done in Magic Write or ChatGPT, have the Excel document that you save as a CSV. You could create all those 52 and you could schedule them for every Monday in 2024, and your Mondays would be done, right? So that is definitely possible. I mean, I'm not saying you probably should do that. You might want to mix it up. 52 in a row might be a bit much, but it's definitely something where you could take a whole heap of content and make it really different. So I definitely wouldn't have 52 of the same looking post on Monday and then 52 of the same looking post on Tuesday, but it might be a testimonial. But you might decide that you have some of your templates. So the Tuesday testimonial has a different template, and you drop all your testimonials into that as well. So definitely an easy way to do it. And so JD's saying, oh, hey, JD. Hi, Therese, use a CSV file is the best way to automatically scheduling description for social media posts. Yeah. Oh, good point. Actually, you just made me think of something, JD. So this is the creative. Okay. So this is the creative that we would use as the visual component of a post. And so when we do a post, we have the creative visual component, and then we have the copy that would be like the text that would be like underneath what we post. And that's where we would have people that we would tag in, and we would have our hashtags as well. So I guess what I'm showing you, JD, is that this is for the graphic component of the, doing it. But then if you wanted to actually have, the scheduling, I guess, but I want to know how to best organize the text. Organize the text. Oh, so do you mean the text underneath the graphic? Yes. Okay. Thank you, JD. There are tools like Monday. There are tools like oh God, I literally can't. Not I've got Canva in my mind. So there are later, yes, all those things like later, Monday, Trello, that you can do that. Personally, I use an Excel document, but I like Excel. And then I have in that Excel document, I actually have my copy, and I have my hashtags that I actually want to use. And then I actually have anybody that I want to tag into that post. And so then I usually have like what I'll call it like a topic. So this post is about X. So then I actually can copy and paste. And then just for context, in Canva, I could take this Instagram square, and you can see here there's a button and it says resize. I can show you this as well. On resize, I could resize that to be a landscape Facebook post, and I can resize it to be a LinkedIn post. And so when I do that, then yes, I need my copy. So to JD's point, I either have a Word document or an Excel document that when I write the copy for my first post or the first thing before I resize it, I've just got an open document where I would copy the text that I want to put as a post. And then I would, when I scheduled my resize for Facebook, I would copy that text off my Word document or my Excel sheet and actually paste it in and then schedule. And then again, I would resize for LinkedIn. So say, for example, I posted on week 1 Instagram Monday, week 2 Facebook Wednesday, week 3 LinkedIn Friday. So I'm using the same post, but I'm using it at different times over different platforms. And then I could just copy and paste that same content or slightly different content into it. So for example, I might have different hashtags in LinkedIn than I would have on Instagram, or tag in different people or different companies. So great question. Can you later Sprout's a good one, Jared, as well. Excellent. So Karen, can you integrate Outlook contacts? I've never tried. Does anybody know for Karen? Karen, when you say in Outlook contacts, is that because you want to do a testimonial? What do you think? No. Okay. So Karen, I guess if you're thinking about Outlook for contacts for a testimonial, I'd probably just create an Excel spreadsheet of those contacts. I haven't ever integrated Outlook into Canva. Also, all my contacts are in Outlook, so to advertise, I need these. Okay. So if you're creating emails and banners and things like that, I definitely use an email program. There's Monica for helping, right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, emails and things, I would definitely use different programs. Canva's just amazing at the graphics component of it. Perfect. All right, let's go on to the next one, which is Otter. I'm just going to look at the time. 2:04. Awesome. So Otter, really simple, not going to spend heaps of time on this, but it has saved my bacon and helped me so many times. It's a very, 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 very simple tool. It actually records and transcribes conversations. Brilliant. Love it. And so how you can use this is obviously when I'm on stage, I can actually use it to transcribe something that I've said. I can use it for training. So when I'm in a training environment, the questions that people ask me and the answers that I give are like the best answers. And so sometimes I transcribe that so I could actually use it as a post or to create content. Definitely great for capturing questions, as I said, for note taking. I've definitely done that where I've just talked into my phone and told it a whole heap of things that I want to, or an idea that I've had. Client meetings is excellent. You can transcribe that client meeting, and I'll show you a few things around that. Content generation, podcast transcripts, so really good at that. Live event. Performance management. So if you are having a difficult conversation, you wanted it documented and recorded, it's great. And also I've seen a heap of people, whether they should be doing it or not, when speakers are on stage, they're actually recording the keynote, hopefully for them just to listen to later because they really want to take every learning and not for publication. But that is definitely something that a lot of people do. So when you look at Otter, so Otter, it's just otter.ai. And so what it does very, very simply is, is Otter the paid one or is it a trial version? Otter has a trial version, 100%. I use the paid version because I love it. But very simply, when you go into Otter, then you've actually got kind of a calendar. It syncs with your calendar. And so if you are going to record a Zoom, a meeting, a Google Hangout, anything that is on your calendar, it'll say, hey, is this the meeting? Do you want to record it? And do you want me to send it to the participants when we're finished? So you can look at your diary and then do that. You can absolutely create a whole heap of things. So even I record my keynotes in it and then I can just like listen to it again and make sure it makes sense. I have conversations on the phone. So my actual phone, you can't record a conversation, but I'll put it on speaker and just have Otter. I always tell people that I'm recording it. Because I want to get all the good stuff, and it's, again, it's not for any sinister purpose. It's actually just so I can get it all in my head and make sure that I'm capturing all these great, great, great notes. So this is Otter. And how it's moving towards now is you can now have a meeting with a whole lot of other people and they've got this thing called autopilot, like autopilot. And so what it will do is you can actually say, find all the actions that needed to come from this meeting and summarize it and send it to the relevant people. So it's pretty cool. It also, I find if I say something and it is wrong, it appears on the screen wrong, then once you get the context of the sentence, it'll actually kind of go back and rewrite that sentence so it makes sense, which is really good. But I've had great, 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 great things to say about Otter. Has anyone used Otter at all? I think it's $99 a year, I think. Yeah. No one's used Otter? Okay. Really like it. Up to you, but there are some other tools around as well. JD's got the free version. Yeah, for me, I just use it a lot. The free version gives you so many minutes. You probably don't even need to do the paid version, but I just liked it. Cool. All right. Rowan. Oh my gosh. So in a sales conversation, to get more insights, I would absolutely use it, and in a few ways. As I said, I think when you are on your feet and in front of a customer and a customer asks you a question, you give your most authentic answer. You give the most heartfelt, truthful answer on the spot. And I think those answers are brilliant. The ones that are not overly copied, written, and, are manicured within to their life. People actually want to know what you say. So those, if you were having a sales conversation with a potential customer, I even use it from a learning point of view. So if someone asks a question and I give them an answer and then it's kind of not good enough and they keep asking, to get a good enough answer, well, I'll be like, well, that's not a good enough answer. But if I do a sales conversation and tell them the answer and they go, that's great, that's really good, I go, that's a good way of describing that. That was a good way of explaining that. That seemed to work. So could I actually take that and turn it into a blog? Could I turn it into an article? Could I turn it into a video script that I did on social? So I absolutely believe that it is a really, really, really great learning tool for you, but also something that you can reuse again and again and again. In context of the customer asking the question, I tend to personally, I don't use I'm not saying I went and saw Sally and Sally asked me this question. I just use it for my own learning most of the time. And then also, if your customers are kind of asking you the same question, you should be creating content so then that they can actually have a better outcome with you because they can get the content that they need and the trust that they need to build as well. Right, next up is Descript. My new favorite. Full disclosure, we all have a thing, right? My thing, something that I cannot do, I'm terrible at it, is video editing. Video editing sends me to tears. I can never do it. I always cut it wrong. I always end up with some stupid look on my face. I just have never been great at video editing. And so I'd always have to outsource it. And I would never do video because I had to edit it. And it drove me like insane. So this, I will still say I'm still on my L plates, or maybe I'm on my P's. But this has actually, I've edited hours and hours and hours and hours of video happily with a smile and not tears. So for me, this is great. So I'm going to say this is like video editing 101. So Descript is something where you actually, it's an AI-based piece of software and it transcribes all your videos. It takes out all your ums and ahs in one click. It takes out all your pauses in one click. It can cut up the video for you. And so you can just say, just want these 10 seconds to use on social. All different sorts of captions in all different sorts of ways. You can actually now use it to record your screen. So if you wanted to use it in the context of a webinar or a Zoom call, you can do that as well. So I love it. And that's because for me, it's an all-in-one tool. So you can use it for your podcast. You can use it for screen recording, audio, and video editing. And when I show you video editing, this is what it is. So, hang on. So Descript, so basically imagine video editing in like a Word document. So the first thing it does is you upload the video and it turns it into words. So in one click, it does a heap of stuff. And you can see down the bottom, like screen recording, transcribing, but like podcasting, video editing, overdubbing. Wait for it. Just say, I said, I really love this green tea. And I should have said, I really love this peppermint tea. Then in one click, I can actually say, change the word green to peppermint. And my lips will still say green, but it has the AI technology to replicate my voice and say the word peppermint instead. Amazing. So look, if you needed to record whole paragraphs, I would definitely not use it, but maybe you just said red instead of green or something like that. So it's really, really good if your video is all good, except you've said one tiny thing wrong. Filler word removal, so that's all the ums and ahs, and you can share it. So it's really cool. So as I said, this is like, it does everything. It's just like my favorite thing. And so this is, for example, you upload your video and you can see here that it says, hello, I'm their Hearten. My name is Therese Tarlinton, not their Hearten. So with this, I'm saying, I really look forward to being, blah, blah, blah. So all of this, like I can literally like highlight the words there, hearten, and then I just type over that and go Therese Tarlinton. This little space is for, it's called sections, which means that I can insert pictures and things like that. And these buttons up here are where in one click, I can take out every and I can take out pauses. And when I say pauses, the tip that I was given, and I'm trying to do more video, is that when we have video, we, should obviously not have a script. We should speak, but maybe you need to cover 4 points. So the best way to do it is to actually have your 4 points on your other monitor or whatever, or if you're using your phone, and then you pretty much go, here's 4 recipes using tomatoes. And then just pause, keep it filming, just keep it running, look over your screen and go, the first recipe is spaghetti bolognese. And then just pause, look at your screen. The second recipe is tomato soup. Pause, look over your screen. So what I'm meaning is if you need to I used to have to learn minutes of scripts and then try to not make a mistake and say it all in one go. So what I'm saying is you can just keep recording your video on your phone and just stop and look at the screen. Just don't talk. And then in one click, you can take out all the pauses. So then I'll just go, recipe 1, spaghetti bolognese. Recipe 2 is tomato paste or whatever it is, which I love. Also on the video, if I say, I'm going to be talking about how to do marketing without money, and I say I'm going to be talking about how to do, oh God, I stuffed up that line. I can just delete that whole line, just literally highlight it from like a Word document and hit delete, and it will take it out of the video. As I said, I'm on my P plates, but I could not do one thing, and I've edited hours and hours of video by doing this. So I do find it I'm talking to myself, idiot proof. So yeah, it's really, really simple to use. It's a script. Can you use this to turn text content into videos? I think you can. I think if you got text content into videos, I think it's got AI voices in it, so you can actually get an AI-based voice to actually do it for you. And then it has heaps of templates of videos in it that you could actually have a video of I don't know, ocean waves and beaches and something like that, and you can actually have that. I think you can. And then JD AI voice is good. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. Can you put supers text? Yes, absolutely. Heaps of supers, heaps of text, heaps of captions. As I said, you can insert different pictures. So if I'm talking about the tomato sauce, I could have the tomato sauce actually come up on the screen while I'm still talking. It's just a really, as I said, it's just like a idiot-proof piece of content that you can create all your videos on. And I just really like it. So I would say the script, pretty good. This is something that's coming. I haven't used it yet. I think it's here now, which is the eyes. Remember I was saying about looking at your Word document? So for example, if I was looking at you on my screen now and then I quickly looked over and I was reading my script about how to make tomato soup and spaghetti bolognese and blah, 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 blah. And so now with one click, you can do eye contact. So it'll actually take your eyes and it will move it to the camera, which is cool, which is something I think will be fantastic. All right, how are we going for time? Cool. Last one, how to use Cast Magic. This is my favorite. I know they're all my favorites, but this is like my favorite child favorite. Cast Magic. So as I said, this was super beta. It was like really new, and now I'm like infatuated with it. And that is because I love repurposing, as in I want you to do one thing and then turn it into 10 things. And what it does, so it transcribes all your audio in timestamps. You've got headings, you've got summaries, you've got email scripts, you've got articles, you've got threads. So This is really, really great if you've got a podcast or you've got, a speech that you've done, or you've got a video, or you've got any kind of piece of audio or video content. So you run it through, it takes like seconds. So for example, I built a course. I've got all of these videos in my course. The course has like 28 videos. Each of the videos goes for about 5 minutes. So I took all those 5-minute videos and I did magic things. So this is what it says it is. So transcription, show notes, summaries, and social content. So as you can see, it's got threads, LinkedIn, quotes, like it's amazing. So one click. So then, for example, I just uploaded a 3-minute video, and then it was like out of that one video, it said, actually, I think I've got some better headings for you. Do you want to use any of these headings instead of like, based on the context, based on what I've said? So the video, I have a course about how to maximize your TV appearance, and it's mostly around the block suppliers. And so this was actually had come from that around. So the first thing was like all the titles. And then the next thing was like key topics and bullets. So it was like, so from these bullets, I basically created like a checklist for every single video that you could do. So this could be something where, just say you were teaching your customer a skill, you could blah, 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 blah. And then from that, you could actually just get the bullet points from it, and you could create like a little checklist. So then they knew what to do from instructions. It gives you all the keywords that you should be using on YouTube. So all of these are my keywords. And you can see here it's got modify and copy content. So again, I can just copy it straight into YouTube. I can copy it into a Word document, or I can just go modify. I go, I'm not sure those words are right. Give it another crack. And so the modify click is kind of a redo click. I can create all my social posts. So it breaks it up and actually uses, you can see there's emojis. So want your product on a hit TV show? Check out TT Talk's latest video, hashtag product integration, hashtag TV show. So it creates all these amazing posts as well that I can just use. It comes up with discussion questions. Where I think discussion questions are good is something that you could use on social to go, have you ever wondered how contestants benefit from using their blockbucks to purchase products? So again, the answer is watch the video, but the question is how you get people to watch the video. So it comes up with all these discussion questions that you could use, and then you can actually use some of the context to actually write articles as well. It creates a newsletter for you. This is like this, and these aren't 5 different clicks. This is one click. One. That's it. It's done. So it actually is a click, and it talks about like basically it's an email that you can send to your customers to get them, to entice them to watch the video. So it talks about here's some things for you to look at. Again, is it perfect? No. Sometimes the spelling is not right. Sometimes it's not quite right, but it's like pretty good, 95% right. So it's just something you need to just look at. That was him. So I would say again, like this is just something that I have really found that I've really liked. And from a marketing point of view, I'm always on my soapbox, and Raz is here as well, and he's a marketer. We want you to do marketing, but we want to make it as simple and easy for you to do as possible. And we want you to do it in a way that you can actually just repurpose it. And so when we say repurpose, like imagine you, and this is like my, big thing when I talk about content creation, like imagine you looked at your 10 most frequently asked questions from your customers, okay? Or the 10 reasons you should get Chinese massage, or the 10 reasons that architects should hire a photographer to take images of their project. And so you had those 10 reasons, those 10 things, or those 10 frequently asked questions. And then you actually just, in your words, just like if a customer was asking you that question, you just recorded a video on your phone of that answer, that little, whether it's a minute or 3 minutes, doesn't matter, but you recorded that answer. So then this is something that all of a sudden I've got 10 answers to 10 questions. So I have 10 videos, Out of those 10 videos, I have 10 emails that I can send to customers. I have 10 blogs that are going to be written. I have 10, you can have 10 checklists, 10 assets. It creates probably at least a half a dozen. So I can have 60 social media posts, all these discussion questions and everything else. So the point of marketing is we want you to do as little as possible and to have as much impact as possible. So I want you guys to use these tools to see that, whatever you're doing, there is an AI tool to help you, and not to be scared. You cannot break them. And most of them have like a free trial. So don't buy them all. Just go and try them all and find your flavor. Just like I like hazelnut and you might like chocolate chip. You got to feel good, whether you're a yoga or you're a Pilates, just find the ones that fit you and feel good, would be my recommendation. So I want to wrap it up. Oh, Karen, how do you find all these? Thank you. Has there been an app like Cast Magic to Joy? An app like Cast Magic. No, I haven't seen an app yet on something like this. It's definitely desktop. And Karen, I love marketing. Marketing's my thing, right? And I am on a mission to see more businesses working together. And I'm on a mission to help as many business owners as possible get their business out to their ideal clients. And I know that architects are an architect for a reason. They didn't become an architect to become a marketer. And so I want to make sure that that architect can clearly articulate what his benefits are and to get noticed and by his clients to get more work and to stay in business and prosper and grow. So I find as many tools as I can to help you guys do the work as simply as possible, and to get the maximum results. So that is my thing. Now, I am going to stop sharing my screen. This is one tiny, tiny thing that I am going to push, which is that's my lead magnet. If you actually want to have a look at what AI kind of created, and I added secret sauce to it, just so you can actually see what, AI and $72 gets you in terms of an